Hey everybody, it's Adam from Encounter Wargaming, and today we are going to dive in and take a look at some really cool 3D printed terrain. So I've made some friends with a little company here locally in Toronto, in Kensington Market even. Downtown Toronto. Very cool. These guys designing some awesome 3D printed terrain. Highly versatile. I think they are D&D players at heart, and but all their stuff can be used for other fantasy type games. Trying to convince them to do some sci-fi stuff because they are just amazing designers. They make some top quality stuff, and so they have like a lot of castle walls, castles, like big old ornate chapels, sanctuaries, that kind of stuff, and then also some things that I'm going to show you today. I can show you. They make like a little blacksmith shop. They call it a Smitty, and an ancient shrine, which is a huge tree just like crushing this stonework old building and stuff. And so some really cool stuff. Ran into these guys at the TGX kind of convention, which just reached major status for 40K, so congratulations guys. And I was just super blown away by the quality of detail of all their stuff. And so I think for now they're just selling the what do you call them? STL files? I don't know. Whatever the file is that you use to print out your terrain. And so they're selling the files, and then they have a third-party company that's officially doing their prints for them. So if you don't have a 3D printer, you can order through this other guy, and he'll print them out for you and send them to you for a price. And so I'll put the links for both of those in there. So if you're a 3D printer, or you have a 3D printer, you're thinking about getting one, you can buy the files directly from them, or you can you know, if you don't, then you can buy from this other guy, and yeah, and then everybody's happy. So I got two pieces to show you today. I fully painted both of them so that you can get the best experience visually, and I just want to show them off. I just want to do some size comparisons for you guys, put down some models beside it, and just have fun with it that way. So let's take a look and review this 3D printed terrain from Infinite Dimension Games. So here we have the Smitty. This is a cool, cheerful little piece of terrain that's just kind of, you know, your average Joe's little blacksmith Smitty shop. And so comes in a bunch of pieces, and I have it all assembled together. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that's separate, which is really cool. So you just go ahead. You can remove this roof. All right. So there you go. Pretty cool construction right there. Right, and you can fully see in the Smitty shop. You got your little anvil with some extra hammers and the like on there. Very cool. You got your I don't know, the stone grinder, wet stone grinder, I guess. Whatever, your little foot pedal. Highly detailed, very creative, very thoughtful in the design process, which is I love. So what else? We got the billows. Very neat, little billows. Very cool, and it's the perfect height to sync up with the fire, right? So it hooks up with the little chimney. Little, you know, bucket of water or whatever. and this guy is totally separate as well. Very cool. So I just painted to look like embers in there. And yeah, and then you have the full building. So you have the one wall here. Very cool, like wooden framing all around. And then you can see all the way around the other side of the wall right here. So pretty cool. Love that workbench. So much detail on there. So many little hammers, barrels, gadgets, big chain hanging up over here, lantern on the side, little treasure chest kind of thing. Super cool. Yeah, thought of every little detail on there. And so that's super fun, highly customizable, right? I would suggest, like, you don't have to glue the pieces in. I don't really play D&D, so I don't know if it's like handy to keep all the pieces separate in the game or not, but it's kind of fun just to like have all the little bits laying around. And if you go in the building or not, to have this roof separate, maybe kind of cool. But so let's see how it stacks up against some miniatures, because obviously terrain is only as useful as it is to play around it. And so here's some Age of Sigmar Stormcast Eternals. Okay, and Stormcast Eternals are a little bit large compared to regular humans, of course, and so they sit just under. And I have mine up on these flagstone bases, so they're raised up quite a bit on top of their base, right? Let's see here. Hello, there we go. So it's raised up quite a bit above where his base should be. So take that into consideration here, and he would be. With the basing, without the basing stuff, he'd be pretty like he'd fit underneath that. He would definitely fit underneath that roof there. Mind the hammer, right? Here's another dude, regular Stormcast Eternal dude. That's like the sergeant. He's just on one layer of flagstone, and there you go. You can get his head easily under there without the flagstone bases I have these guys standing on. And then I have a more in scale model here. This is just a War Machine like elf dude or dudette, and she, with both her hands raised in the air, fits in there perfectly, right? So you can see, you know, anything on a 40 mil base, you're kind of pushing it, but this is like a 32 mil base or smaller. 25 mil base would definitely fit. All your Reaper Bones models would definitely fit because they're, you know, more of a true 28 mil scale, whereas GW's creeping up on 32 mils these days. So there you go. That's kind of how she stacks up against some models. Very cool little kit. This one wall completely blocks line of sight, whereas the other, you could probably argue there's, you know, cover shooting through there with all the tools and everything lying through if you wanted to. And so there you go. That's kind of, you know, high game functionality with blocking line of sight through there, which is really sweet. That's what you want. Elite stuff that blocks line of sight. And so yeah, so pretty stoked about it. Pretty happy. You could glue it together if you wanted completely. Painting was nice to have all the little bits separately, and especially this guy to reach in and give some special attention to the embers there. But yeah, pretty cool little Smitty. So the next one is very impressive. Let's pull out the Ancient Shrine. I can't even fit it all on the camera. It's so huge. This is the Ancient Shrine. This is the piece that I walked over to that booth and said, what the heck are you guys doing over here? This is so cool. I love this terrain piece. This would be great in Age of Sigmar as like a sinister or magic or whatever, you know, piece of terrain. And yeah, it's just awesome. Look at this crazy gnarly tree just like growing out with its roots fully encompassing this like old shrine here. Very, very, very cool. So the fluff for this, the lore is that like it has this almost glowing white, this like pure white heartwood. So you can see the spots where all the bark is peeled away. And I'll zoom in so you can see a little better. Where all the bark is peeled away, I have like this nice bright heartwood. This is called the whitewood tree. And then they have a pure water fountain that's coming out of there. And these guys, they wanted to see autumn colors, so I put all these autumn leaves scattered around it, which is really cool. So let's get some models in here. I'll spin it around so you guys can see the whole 360, but let's get some models in here for comparison. So there's the Stormcast Eternal. So this piece, you can tell, is much, much bigger than that Smitty, right? This piece is huge. It's imposing. This is definitely a very cool centerpiece for any Age of Sigmar table, Malifaux, whatever you want. Blocks line of sight really well, and you know, large pieces obviously would still be able to see through that, but you could hide, you know, small units of infantry back here fairly easily. Maybe a unit of 10 Stormcast would be a little bit big, but you know, a unit of 5 Stormcast or a unit of 10 models on 32 mils or even 25 mils, you could easily hide behind this thing, which would be really nice. And here's the elf. Boom, easily stands there up in that doorway. So here, let's get a view of this thing all around, and then I'll zoom in, and we can see what's up. So, Smitty. Very cool, right? You see these big rocks coming out of here, big, huge roots swinging down. Some more of that heartwood, these mushrooms growing on it, all the crumbly, the roof rock bits. Very cool. Take that, Sylvaneth. This is a real tree. All right. Cool. So now let's zoom in a little bit and take a look at some of the closer up details. So let's start off down here on the base. You can see, very cool. I'll put a model back on there for size. Perfect size, right? Stormcast sitting around that base, awesome. Like, great piece of terrain. Great, very dynamic, very versatile for a lot of games, and looks super cool. Very neat. I have some more static pictures of this over at facebook.com/BattleBrothersStudios if you want to check out some close-up, higher res shots taken on my DSLR camera. There's that heartwood, mushrooms, very cool. Very cool. Now, so one really neat feature of this terrain piece in particular, because it's an ancient shrine, it's been around for a long time, a lot of hidden secrets about this shrine here, and that all comes together in this secret compartment here underneath the shrine, or underneath the tree. And so you can actually see here, and I'll lift it up now. There's a little door there, a crack in the wall that exposes the hidden shrine area underneath. And so it's obviously abandoned, and you know, there's a lot of regrowth, undergrowth, but very cool feature here that could really add a neat dynamic to a lot of your games, depending on what you're into. So for me, I'd probably just glue it together, to be honest. Because I'm into most of the, you know, tabletop wargame stuff, but you D&D players may be able to use a feature like that. So the thing is, right, is a model, you know, that even this elf, who's the smaller one out of the two, he would get squished. He doesn't quite fit. He can't hide in there completely. So that's how the cookie crumbles with that. But of course, very cool feature nonetheless. You could hide little pieces of treasure in there, whatever you want. But yeah, very neat. The white wood tree encompassing the ancient shrine. Very cool. So like I said, I'll post the links to all the stuff in the video description, but man, is that a cool piece of terrain. That is totally worth adding to your collection. Easily 3D printable. It paints up really easily. Just use rattle can primers, airbrush paint, a lot of washes, dry brushing, what have you, and a little bit of autumn leaves. And so there you go, guys. If you have any questions, you want to know anything, you know, drop a little doohickey comment in the description there. So yeah, let's wrap this up. So there you have it, the Smitty and the Ancient Shrine from Infinite Dimension Games. Very cool 3D printed files and, you know, 3D printed models. So however you like your pie sliced, go on there, check it out, whether you want a file for your 3D printer or if you want the actual physical thing already printed for you. There are ways to get both of those out there. Mostly used for D&D, good for Malifaux. Age of Sigmar, you know, any fantasy style or setting game that has a sense of majesty and wonder could be good, at least for that whitewood tree. But all the, like, you know, the cathedral and the chapels and the libraries and the, you know, just the buildings that they do are super great for any low fantasy setting as well. And so feel free to check them all out. I will again post the links. Love these guys. Love that they're local in Toronto, making cool stuff in downtown Kensington Market. Super neat. Support these guys. They didn't pay me anything to make this video. Just want to help them out, support them. And so yeah, check them out. Do you know, all boats rise with the coming of tides. Amen. So there you go. Guys, that's it for this video. If you like what we do at the channel, jump down there, hit subscribe. You can click the little bell if you want notifications when our future videos come out, like bat reps, terrain tutorials, painting tutorials, and the like. You can jump over to our Patreon as well. You can support us for as little as $1 a video down there in the link below as well. And yeah, folks, that's all she wrote for today. So we will see you at our next encounter.
Like a monkey in a rocket on his way back home. Okay.